What, a cat got your tongue this week, Parker? Jack Frost nipping at your nose? It is cold out. All right, are you just finally giving me the silent treatment? All right, we're playing that game, okay. You're on.
Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show.
And I'm Abby Perry. Welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. So if you're not able to talk, can I talk for you? Well, okay then. I'm Parker Carlson. I'm Parker. I like obscure bands, Top Gear, Community, and I dislike Marvel. But I love Tom Holland as the new Spidey boy. But that's not all. I'm a sad boy that's always overshadowed by my amazing co-host that's just better than me. Parker, stop. That was so sweet.
You can't do this to me.
So I have a question. Did you sign a contract with Ursula?
I mean,
Like, did you give your voice away for something?
BuzzFeed said that Belle
Listen,
was my
Ariel is my
princess.
favorite Disney princess. I got all her dingle hoppers because of her, man. Giving away that voice. I secretly like Disney movies, but I tell everyone I don't. The mouse gets to live in a castle, so why can't I? Speaking of Disney, Parker, Nate is here to talk about Disney Plus coming out. Nate?
As of the day of this taping, November 12th, Disney's take on the world of streaming, Disney Plus, is now live. And while I'd love to supply you all with a review of the very first episode of The Mandalorian, I wouldn't want to rush it, so next time. But I will say that I predict that Disney Plus might just be one of the biggest names in the streaming game for a variety of reasons. So let's take a look. First off, the pricing of the service couldn't be better, $7 a month. This is more than half of what Warner Media will want from their streaming service, HBO Max, which will cost consumers a whopping $15 a month. There's also a bundle where, along with Disney Plus, you can also get ESPN Plus and the ad-supported Hulu, all for $13 a month, which is still less than Warner Media's singular service, HBO Max. Though probably not as good of a deal as NBC Universal's unintentionally hilarious named streaming service Peacock, which, according to a report for CNBC, will have an ad-supported version that will be free for everyone. Can't beat that. Now let's look at the content. While all these other streaming services will stream shows like Friends, The Office, South Park, Family Guy, Rick and Morty, and Seinfeld, Disney Plus will feature the longest-running sitcom in history, The Simpsons. With an expansive catalog of over 650 episodes, this alone is worth the price. Though that's not all the streaming service will also stream. The underrated sitcom Malcolm in the Middle, which more people have seen than you might think. The service will also have an expansive list of Disney films, classic 20th Century Fox films, most of the MCU films, almost all of the Star Wars saga, and a near complete catalog of Pixar films. As for originals, the streaming service probably has what could be the next big show in tentpole television, the aforementioned The Mandalorian, the first live-action Star Wars series, and one of the most expensive TV shows in history. But that's not all for Star Wars. The streamer will also feature spin-offs for Diego Luna's Rogue One character Cassian, and a long-awaited standalone series focusing on Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, as well as one last season of Star Wars The Clone Wars. The Marvel Cinematic Universe will be expanding its horizons to television. While shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil, and The Runaways technically are set in the MCU, Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige don't have control of those. So for the first time, we will see Marvel shows that will have an actual effect on the franchise as a whole, whether it be returning characters like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, and Loki, or new characters like She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. The service seems like one Marvel fans won't want to miss. Other shows on the service will be High School Musical, the series, Monsters at Work, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and a revival of Lizzie McGuire, and so much more. Just like Netflix and Amazon, Disney Plus will also offer up some original movies. The first two being a live-action remake of Lady and the Tramp starring Tessa Thompson and Justin Theroux, and a Christmas film, Noelle, starring Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader. The service will also soon put out films like Togo, starring Willem Dafoe, an adaptation of the YA novel Stargirl, and Timmy Failure, which is the next film from Oscar-winning filmmaker Thomas McCarthy, as well as sequels and reboots of films like Hocus Pocus, Home Alone, and Night at the Museum. Disney Plus has shown that they're not just for kids, and I personally can't wait to see where this service goes. Will this be successful as we all think it's going to be? Only time will tell. Until next time, I'm Nate Richard.
I'm Abby, and I have a superiority complex. Wait, I said the wrong name. All right, writers, I get it. I know Star Wars now. Can you just leave me alone? Okay, so if you were to talk right now, would you be like, ooh, I'm Darth Vader?
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
Okay, let's try a different one. What about Batman?
Where's Rachel?
Okay, well, maybe Matthew can do a better impression.
I'm 90% sure that half of my segments this season have been me talking about new developments for Matt Reeves' The Batman, and it looks like I am not stopping anytime soon. So much keeps happening. Last time, I reported that Jeffrey Wright was going to play Commissioner Gordon and Jonah Hill was in talks for an unconfirmed role, but it was a lie because Jonah Hill dropped out of talks after Hill and Warner Brothers couldn't agree on which role he'd get. Warner Brothers wanted him as the Penguin, while Hill wanted the Riddler, which is rumored to be the film's main villain. But that sad news was quickly washed away when it was revealed that Zoe Kravitz was cast as Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman. Kravitz has shown that she has some great acting chops, but hasn't really starred in anything worthy of her talents. I'm hoping the Batman proves to be the right franchise for her, unlike the Fantastic Beasts series. But if that wasn't enough, merely a few days later, Paul Dano was announced as the Riddler. I would have never predicted Dano getting this role because he's not been in many blockbusters like this, but he is a fantastic character actor, and I can't wait to see what he does with the role. But wait, I'm not finished. Last week, the news dropped that Andy Serkis is in early talks to play Bruce Wayne's beloved butler, Alfred, and Colin freaking Farrell is going to be the Penguin. What? I don't think my pure little heart can take how stellar this cast is shaping up to be. Serkis is a god, always has been, and Colin Farrell is such an inspired choice for the Penguin. I just really hope the film does him justice, unlike the Fantastic Beasts series. I just really don't like those movies, but I am still not finished, because yesterday, Collider broke the news that Jamie Lawson, a newcomer who has recently graduated from Juilliard, has been cast in a major unspecified role. Talk about a big break. My money was on Batgirl, but it's now said that she will be playing a character named Bella, good name, a grassroots political candidate running for office in Gotham. My money's still on Batgirl though, but anyways, all of these casting announcements have been constantly surprising and making me more hyped for this movie than before. On the non-casting side of things, Michael Giacchino will reunite with Matt Reeves for a 5th time as the film's composer. Now, considering that his War of the Planet of the Apes score is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated scores of the decade, just take my money now, please. I only have like $40 in my checking, but I won't need that. Cinema. I love when things come together. I can't wait to see how this film turns out. Will Serkis perform an entirely motion-captured Alfred? Will Colin Farrell get fat? Do we get to see Bruce Wayne's parents murdered for the 1000th time? All of these questions and more will be answered when The Batman comes out in 2021. As always, I'm Mattman, and thanks for watching Justice, Hockey Pads, Bats. Back to you.
That's all you got for us?
I'm
I think I'm cool. I can do a Nixon impression. Oh, The script is so much better because I wasn't at the writers' meeting last night. I pretend to like Scott Pilgrim, but really it's just subpar. I only say it for the clout.
Keep your comments in your pocket.
You kind of sound like Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau, The Room, Tierra's segment, ring a bell. Okay, so Tierra's here to talk about The Room and Tommy Wiseau. Take it away, Tierra.
I love The Room. I love Tommy Wiseau. I love The Disaster Artist, the book and the movie. So when I heard that the man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Wiseau was coming to Indy for a showing of The Room, I had to go. For those who don't know, The Room is one of the most popular cult films right now. It has a lot of midnight screenings, a la Rocky Horror Picture Show, with the audience call and response that made Rocky Horror Midnight Screening so popular. Anyway, after getting there, I realized the line was far too long to meet Tommy, which was disappointing, but the Q&A made up for it because it was the most perfect thing in the world. Tommy was his usual unintelligible self. He showed us a trailer for a new movie he has coming out called Big Shark, which looks like everything Sharknado wanted to be and more. Big Shark is also directed by Tommy, so I'm really excited to see if he's learned anything other than not to use 2 cameras since The Room. Also, at this point, Tommy has pretty much confirmed that this is who he is. It's not a bit or an act. Like, what you see is what you get with Tommy Wiseau, and that's my favorite part. And I'm glad this icon showed up to Little Indiana to celebrate his wacky movie. The Room, if you've never seen it, follows Johnny, a successful banker. He makes the bank a lot of money, but apparently also works in the computer business. I don't know. He is also engaged to his future wife, Lisa, who he loves so much, and he has a best friend, Mark. And Lisa is cheating on Johnny with Mark, and then there's this kid, I think, Denny. You know what? The Room is a movie you should just watch and experience. It's not nearly as good with me just sitting here and talking about it. In fact, a midnight screening like the one I was at is probably the perfect environment to see The Room for the first time. It's essentially what made The Room The Room. There's a crowd who know and love the film and know all the lines to shout at the screen. They know when to throw the spoons, and seeing it on the big screen, you won't miss a single out of focus shot or a photographed spoon in the background. I was noticing things that I had just missed in previous viewings of The Room. So truly, if you have an opportunity to see The Room with a crowd, do it. This movie was made for crowds. The first time I saw The Room was alone in my room on some random Saturday night, which is nowhere near as fun as throwing spoons with strangers. And major shout out to Tommy Wiseau for coming to Indy and breathing the same air as us for a while. We are not worthy. That's it for me this week. I'm Tara Spells, and I'll most definitely be reviewing Big Shark when it finally drops.
I agree. Well spoken, truly. I like to imagine we're having a really fulfilling conversation right now. I love remakes of old things. It's my favorite thing to watch. You're right, I don't like remakes either. Anyway, here's Ben to talk about the new trailer for Fantasy Island.
Yeah, and I hate remakes too. Oh, I'm on the air. On Monday afternoon, the trailer for Fantasy Island premiered, and it got some people talking. The trailer seems to depict the original 70s ABC television show of the same name as more of a thriller flick rather than a fantasy drama show. The movie is produced by Blumhouse, the same studio behind Get Out and 2018's Halloween. The trailer features 5 people taking a weekend resort trip to Fantasy Island, where one guest gets one fantasy they have always wished for per trip. Things start off as a typical resort trip, the typical summer vacation movie, but things start to get weird when one of the fantasies started to seem way too real for one of the guests. The other characters figure out that what they have fantasized about will come true whether they want it to or not. They now have to escape the island while trying not to be killed and try to unravel the mystery behind everything happening there. Michael Pena replaces Khan himself, Ricardo Montalban, as Mr. Rourke, and the other cast members include Maggie Q, Portia Doubleday, Lucy Hale, Ryan Hansen, Jimmy O. Yang, and Austin Stowell. A lot of music fans were taken aback when they heard Ariana Grande's song Seven Rings used as the trailer music for a Blumhouse trailer movie depicting a resort movie about masochist fantasies and conspiracy theories. This is a different take on the classic TV show. Let's see how well it works next Valentine's Day. Wait. Valentine's Day? Let's see how well it works next Valentine's Day when this thrill ride premieres. Back to you, Abby.
Thank you.
You know, in my perfect fantasy, it would be this right here. You not talking. See, like that, I didn't have to hear your voice like, ah! You know what's great too? Continuing it through the break. I love this time together, Parker. I recently watched a movie that I saw advertisements for everywhere a while back. I genuinely wanted to see it, but then I found out it was based on a Harry Styles fanfic. I still watched it, but I watched it with slightly less enthusiasm. The movie is called After. It's about a girl that goes to college and finds herself in an unexpected romance with a mysterious, tattooed British man. It was pretty good. The story was pretty good, and I genuinely got invested, but there were just some things that I couldn't get over. As I was trying to figure out why I couldn't get over those things, I realized that it's because I have the same issues with every Netflix original movie. Here's how I see it. Every Netflix original movie has a great storyline, but the execution just seems lazy. Using After as an example, the movie was set in college, which is a great idea. College movies are great, but there appears to be no effort to actually make it seem like real college. Her roommate had exaggerated qualities, that's the stoner and partier, saying how silly it is to actually try in school. In real college land, you can't flunk out. It's not trendy to do so. Also, parties happen, but so does existing as a normal human every now and then. Then we had the relationships. There was a mean girl that hung out with her roommate and the mysterious man. She made it her life mission to ruin the main character's life. Yeah, bullies exist past the age of 18, of course, but avoiding people is so easy in college. The main character didn't even try. Just don't go out to eat with her tonight? Then the professor gave the main character a love letter from Mystery Man. No professor would be like, here, go ahead and take his final project. He somehow got an A, even though it had nothing to do with the class at all, and it inspired me. Oh, and then there was the big truth or dare moment, a bunch of college students making fun of each other for not sleeping around. Ha, so college? False. That is not a casual thing that happens. Maybe for some people, but that's not a normal college thing. If it was just this movie, then perhaps I could see beyond it, but I honestly think it's almost every Netflix original. No matter what genre, romance, comedy, horror, almost every single one has huge dramatic defining moments that just aren't accurate. I'm not saying that they aren't good movies. I have loved several of the Netflix originals that have come out, but every single time I think, why did they write that part in? That didn't make any sense. Now, I know it may not seem like it, but After was pretty good. A little cringy at parts and not really realistic to college, but good overall. It just sparked an anger inside me that I have with Netflix originals, but I would still recommend it if you're looking for a good movie. I guess I'm just a huge proponent of research and accuracy and portrayal, but I'm not the large and successful streaming service, so I guess no one cares what I think. I don't know. Watch After, I guess. That's all for me. You gonna try to do a segment?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
We'll try to make this short for reasons.
Okay.
Rick and Morty finally released the premiere of season 4, which fans have been waiting for what felt like an eternity. I love Rick and Morty just as much as the next guy, besides all those stupid memes about needing a high IQ to understand the humor. Let's be honest, it's about as lowbrow as it gets. Season 4 picks right up where you'd expect. The first episode, titled Edge to Morty, Rick Die, Rick Pete, is a parody of the surprisingly great Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. The plot of the episode is a one-off adventure where Morty can see all the possibilities of his death through a crystal. Morty tries to choose every choice where he gets to die next to his crush, Jessica, even though they lead to some pretty stupid consequences. While this keeps going on, Rick keeps dying and being revived through clones of himself in alternate realities, with the common thread that all these realities have a fascist version of himself and Morty. Overall, there's not much to explain here.
Good.
If you're a fan of the show, you've already seen the season premiere. The humor is exactly the same. I mostly found myself chuckling along with a good couple hearty laughs in between. While I love the show, I wish that season 4 premiere started off with a little more. The overall series plot with Evil Morty hasn't been touched for a while. It's great to have these isolated adventures, but given the kind of lackluster ending to season 3 as compared to season 2's ending, which had the whole internet chanting "Free Rick," was kind of a put-off for the future of the show. All I'm saying is that there's a lot of potential to explore these intricate plots, but Dan Harmon, the creator, has been focusing on more episodic structure lately. Hopefully, they explore the rest of season 4, but it's hard to tell. Season 4 will only feature 5 episodes before they go on to a mid-season hiatus to wrap up end of 2019. After that, who knows when they'll finish up the total of 10 episodes for season 4. At least Dan Harmon has come out to say that any breaks in between the seasons will never be as long as the one between seasons 3 and 4. Even with these reservations, I'm still excited for more episodes of Rick and Morty. I tried.
I'm so proud of you. You found your voice. Sort of. Did Eric finally say he loved you?
No,
Oh,
he didn't.
okay. Well, if you want more from us here at The Real Deal, check out our Facebook, Twitter, and website for all things entertainment. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm Parker Carlson. See you next time on The Real Deal.
You did good. Proud of you.